Hey everyone, welcome to Angler Company dungeon guide thing. First video in a while, so I'm going to try and keep commentary to a minimum. Basically, stage 1 is you have to guide a little robot to the end of an auto-scroller. It takes 20 energy to change the platform color that the robot can walk on, and I like to gather about 700 for stage 1, and you can gather 1,000, but it's not really necessary, and if you can manage with less, you spend less time in here, and the less time you spend killing monsters, the further you can progress with other things. So I like to gather about 700 and try and complete it all in one go, and yeah. For stage 2, you just need to bring the electrical current to the correct crystal. The correct crystal is going to be red. Every other crystal is going to be purple or blue. It's pretty straightforward. It takes 300 energy to be able to move the energy current from one wire to another. So I like to gather about 900 before I move the current around, and yeah, once you connect it, you have to go to the middle of the map and kill the giant ball thing in the middle. Stage 3 is really simple. You just have to gather 500 energy, and then once you gather 500 energy, you go to the top of the map and hack a computer to open the door to the next area. The main thing with this one, because you only have to gather 500 energy instead of, for the other floors you have to gather more than 500 to be able to progress. This one you only collect 500 because you have to kill a mini-boss after you finish hacking the computer at the top with your little mech suit thing. So yeah, this one there's a little mini-boss fight thing. Stage 4 is going to be the midway point for the whole dungeon, and it's an even more difficult mini-boss than the one you just fought. This one has a lot more HP. The main issue that I have seen people have problems with is the giant laser, this attack right here. You just want to make sure your aura is the opposite of the color of the laser beam. Right there it was blue, and I wanted to have the red aura. At that point, you essentially don't take any damage, and it becomes a burst battle where you just try and burst through all the HP. It's pretty straightforward. Stage 5 is essentially just a repeat of Stage 1, where you have to guide a little robot across some platforms. It's an auto-scroller, and you just have to make sure the robot gets across the platforms. There are two different changes to this one. The robot can either move really fast, where you have to have good reaction times to what's happening with the robot, or you can have a little bubble of light around the robot and it's moving a little bit slower than normal, where you have to look and see where the robot is going to go in advance. As usual, there is going to be the same color at the very end of the auto scroller. The robot is going to have to go across like 2 red platforms, for example, and there's a little bit of an input delay, so I don't know, maybe it's because I'm just bad at the game, but I struggle with this a whole lot. Stage 5 is really bad for me, and I don't fully understand why it is, because it's really straightforward, but anyways, it doesn't matter. You just need to gather enough energy to be able to make the robot get to the computer at the end, and then you're done. Stage 6 is going to be kind of like a repeat of Stage 2, where you have to guide the electricity to the correct area. Instead of a crystal lighting up, there's just going to be some gates. A bunch of them have X's and one of them has O's, and you're going to bring the electricity to the O, and then the ball is going to fall and you'll be able to clear the level. You will have to burst it. Anyways, yeah, just keep in mind you're going to have to burst it. If for some reason you get really lucky, which never happens to me, but you end up having the circles line up with the energy right away, you can press tab and it will send the ball right away. So you don't have to wait the whole minute and a half.
And stage 7 is just the same as stage 3. You're going to gather up 500 energy, and once you gather up 500 energy, you're going to get in your little mech suit and go hack the computer. Once you hack the computer, there is another, I guess it's technically a mini boss you have to kill, and then you can move on to the final stage of this whole dungeon.
finally, stage 8 is the boss battle. So, thanks for watching. I hope that this helped at least a few of you guys actually understand how to complete the dungeon. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.